Hello again. Welcome to my new YouTube channel where I'm sharing with anybody who will listen various Christian artists, albums, and songs that have really influenced me, uh, predominantly during my teenage years, but really all throughout my life. Right now, I'm in the middle of going through a 1982 album by Bob Bennett called Matters of the Heart. Yesterday, I looked at his the title track, the opening song on the album called Matters of the Heart. And this uh, time, I am going to look at the second song on the album called Falling Stars. Um, it's not like my favorite song on the album, but it's always been kind of a haunting song again first captured my imagination when I was 12 years old. Um, it's called Falling Stars, and as an adult now, looking back at it and appreciating the lyrics, um, I appreciate so much of the imagery in the song regarding light, stars, moon, street lights, and all of that comes together in a commentary. Sorry about my phone. This one's going to go too. Um, on a commentary on human existence and the depressingness of so much of human existence when we try to follow our own devices and we kind of wear ourselves down. Uh, and so, again, it's kind of a sobering song, especially for a 12-year-old, but that's the kind of stuff that was mulling over in my head in junior high that got me to consider a lot of, well, even though I wouldn't have put it that way at that point, a Christian outlook on humanity and life in general. So this song is a 3-minute song called Falling Stars.
Turned up like a paper cup, catching falling stars. And the lines on the highway are dancing in a row for passing cars. People living out another day behind the wheel, out of control, sick to the soul, like falling stars. The lights are burning on the street tonight, like the world's on fire. Take a number at the gallows and string yourself up by your own desires. Countless patrons try to ride their dreams like a Ferris wheel, but it's out of control, sick to its circular soul, like falling stars.
right, so that is Falling Stars. Um, Really a dark song when you really consider the lyrics. I don't know if that says about 12-year-old Joel, but it really enthralled me. Um, like I said, first of all, the sheer imagery of stars and falling stars and lights. And when you look at the lyrics, um, the very first line, "The moon's turned up like a paper cup, catching falling stars." I always thought that was such an interesting, poetic image of, the night you're out at night in the nighttime sky and you see the moon, you see the stars. And to picture it that way is just always fascinating to me. Um, and he equates the stars in the sky falling with, the lines on the on the street, um, where, the I not the straight well, the straight line, not the constant lines, but the what do you call it? The back and forth lines. What do you call that? Dotted lines on the street, where you could that allow you to pass. Um, and when you're driving at night, they just boom, 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 boom. They kind of have that effect. And he equates falling stars with the lines on the street where cars are passing and trying to get to where they want. And he sees that as kind of a statement of the human soul and how we're always pushing to go places and get things that we want to get, but we don't realize that is ends up being a redundant cycle of life where we're always trying to get more stuff and it's never fulfilling. And that leads to the second stanza where he talks about the lights, the street lights on the light burning, um, like the world's on fire. And right there, now that we've listened to the whole song, that's kind of a foreshadowing and allusion to this at the end of the song, kind of a very apocalyptic view of the world, but it's set within the mundaneness of life, if you want to say, if you want to put it that way. And the lines that are shocking, in this daily life, we're always passing people and try to get what we want. He equates them, take a number at the gallows and string yourself up by your own desires. How often are the times when we destroy ourselves because we are so intent on going after our own desires? All the stuff that advertisements place on the screen that make us want to go get that stuff. That's the stuff that ultimately kind of has a destructive effect on our lives. It's kind of a cage. It's a golden cage. Come and lock yourselves into this golden cage. But what Bob Bennett does is he equates it with the lights on a Ferris wheel. It's all nice and cool, but you're never getting anywhere. You're just going in a circular pattern over and over again. And so many people live their lives that way. You might go up for a while, but then you're like falling stars, and you come right back down. And now the last stanza is the apocalyptic stanza where he looks forward and he says, "The time is coming when the heavens will fall into the street." Falling stars. And falling stars will finally meet. Now, what does he mean by that? Obviously, people themselves are kind of falling stars, trapped on a Ferris wheel, going round and around, but their materialistic lives are just going down. And then, obviously, if you know your biblical allusion stuff throughout the Bible, specifically in Revelation, Satan is seen as a falling star being cast out of heaven. And so there's this apocalyptic imagery here at the end of the song where at some point Satan will ultimately fall and be defeated, and those who've kind of bought into his materialistic Ferris wheel kind of promises, they'll fall with him. And it's a very sobering and very kind of depressing, well, kind of really depressing view of the reality of what people and what the end of some people's lives will be like. Um, there are no more chances upon the wheel, not just a Ferris wheel, but now he equates life as kind of like a roulette wheel where you're just gambling on your life and you never win. You never beat the house for too long. It's out of control as you watch your soul go down like falling. And again, this is another song. Doesn't specifically say Jesus anywhere in the song. It's just a contemplation of the weariness of life that so many of us find ourselves on the treadmill on the Ferris wheel on. and therefore it's it's a realization of what a godless life is kind of like. Um, Again, a very sobering song, and um, not a happy song that makes you feel good, but it's one of those sobering songs that make you really contemplate about life, what really matters in life, and in this case, what really doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's Falling Stars. Now that you're all happy, um, come back tomorrow and I will do uh, a good song, a happy song, an uplifting